Imagine getting kicked off Dancing with the Stars right before the finale. Fans are screaming rigged, and a week later you're announced as the new Roxie Hart on Broadway. For Whitney Leavitt, that is not a conspiracy theory. That is literally her life right now. Today we're talking about Whitney's shock DWTS elimination, the Chicago casting that has everyone asking, was this the plan all along? And the big question nobody can stop bringing up in the comments, can she actually sing? Or is this another reality TV fast track? Whitney Leavitt just landed what a lot of performers dream of for their entire careers. A 6-week run as Roxie Hart in Chicago on Broadway from February 2nd to March 15th. This is a legit, iconic role. We're talking Ariana Madix level, reality star to Broadway pipeline. And the wild part is, if you watched her Argentine tango to Cell Block Tango with Mark Ballas on week 9 of DWTS, they basically telegraphed this weeks ago. On Call Her Daddy with Mark, Whitney teased that 2 big things were coming. First, she said she just booked her first movie. Second, she hinted that a dance they performed on DWTS was going to come to life, and that everyone would know on Monday. Fast forward, and boom, Chicago announces Whitney as Roxie right after she's eliminated just in time to rehearse. Fans online clocked that instantly. Some people are genuinely happy for her, saying this is way better than a glittery mirrorball trophy and calling her an amazing performer and dancer. Others are side-eyeing the timing, pointing out that she didn't seem that devastated when she got voted off, and wondering if production and Broadway were quietly aligned behind the scenes. And then there's the other elephant in the room. This is not just a dance role, it's a full musical. Roxie Hart has to sing, belt, act, hold the stage alone. A lot of commenters are like, no hate, but can she sing? The character belts songs. Being a TikTok dancer is not the same as a Broadway lead. It's that tension between traditional theater people who spend years grinding in auditions and a reality TV star who's just come off a huge primetime show. But to understand why this casting is so polarizing, you have to look at Whitney's DWTS journey. From week 1, she and Mark were one of the most polished couples on season 34. Clean lines, big performance energy, high concept routines. That cell block tango Argentine tango became a moment. The kind of routine producers replay in montages for years. With that level of quality, people had her pegged as a finalist easily. Instead, she and Mark were eliminated just before the finale, one of the most shocking votes of the season. At the same time, they were getting hammered online. Viewers were complaining about her having too much prior dance experience, accusing DWTS of favoritism toward Mark, and basically saying the show had ringers again. On Call Her Daddy, Mark admitted the backlash was relentless, and Whitney said she was almost numb to it after years of being dragged during Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She also admitted something really honest. She never truly thought she would win DWTS. What she wanted was the experience. She literally said she did Mormon Wives for a shot at DWTS, and DWTS to open doors for bigger opportunities. And now, a couple of weeks later, she's got exactly that. A movie and Broadway. It's hard not to see a very carefully built career path there. Is that a bad thing? Not necessarily. This is show business. Everyone on DWTS, from the ex-athletes to the reality stars, is there for something. A rebrand, a comeback, a profile bump, a new audience. Whitney was just honest enough to say it out loud. The difference is, she actually delivered on the performance side, which makes Broadway taking a chance on her a little less random than it looks at first glance. Still, the conversation around her Chicago casting is really split. Some people are thrilled, saying this is exactly what she wanted, she deserves it, and she'll make a great Roxie. Others are suspicious, pointing out how convenient it is that she left DWTS early enough to rehearse and calling it proof that these shows are just launch pads for prearranged deals. And then there's that middle group, who are proud of her as a dancer but genuinely worried about the singing. Roxie Hart doesn't just shimmy and pose for Instagram. You have to carry songs like Funny Honey and Roxie with live audiences every night. No backing track, no flattering TV edit, no second take. If Whitney nails it, she'll silence a lot of critics. If she doesn't, the Broadway community will be ruthless. What's really interesting is how this story ties into a bigger trend. We're seeing this more and more, reality TV or influencer names skipping the traditional ladder and jumping straight to Broadway or the West End. Producers get a built-in fan base and headlines. The star gets prestige and a new line on their CV. but it also makes longtime theater fans feel like hard-earned roles are being turned into influencer collabs. At the same time, social media completely rewrites what it means to be qualified. Whitney walks in with huge followings from Mormon Wives, TikTok, and DWTS, plus months of national exposure as a serious dancer. To Broadway producers, that equals ticket sales and a younger audience. To old-school theater people, that can feel like shortcuts and stunt casting. So here's where I want to land this. Whitney Leavitt lost the mirrorball, but she just won something a lot more powerful. Validation that DWTS really can be a launchpad if you know how to play it. She went from reality villain to Broadway lead in a year. She turned Backlash into buzz. She turned a themed tango into a real-life contract on one of the biggest stages in the world. But that also means the pressure is now insane. Every note she sings, every review that drops, every fan who travels to New York expecting perfection is going to judge whether she earned this or whether DWTS fast-tracked her into a lane she wasn't ready for. So now I want to hear from you. Do you think Whitney deserved this Chicago role based on her DWTS run and overall talent? Or do you see this as another example of reality fame skipping the line? And be honest, are you actually planning to see her as Roxie? Or are you more interested in the drama around the casting than the show itself? Tell me in the comments. And if you like deep dives into how reality TV and influencer culture are reshaping Hollywood and Broadway, tap like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.